Mm-mm. Hated that. Howdy, hi. Welcome back to my channel, friends. I hope you've been having a great week. I have not, but that's not that's neither here nor there because we have some very amazing stories for what the we have some very amazing stories for you. That still feels weird to say very amazing stories. Maybe it's because it's two adjectives. I don't know. Anyway, shit's gonna be tight. So we have a story. What do you do if you find your current partner on Hinge? What do you do if you find them talking to someone else at a concert? What do you do in another scenario that I'm not remembering right now? The answers will come. We have 3 amazing stories today. Maybe that's what I wanted to say. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. The engagement is super helpful for me, friends. So if you feel like it, do it. And if you don't, you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I am kidding. But like, there's a little truth behind every joke, right? All right, let's get into it. Story number 1. Okay. For story number 1, we have my 23-year-old female boyfriend, a 22-year-old male, spent the entirety of a concert with another girl. What now? Well, you leave his ass. What do you mean, what now? But let's read on to see if that's true. It is. For some context, we have been dating for 4 years, and we attended this concert with 3 other friends. This was a fairly sized concert in an outside venue, so some people stood breast the front. Some people stood breast the front to see the stage, and others sat in an elevated grassy section in the back. Stood breast the front. A breast? Did you mean a breast? Breast. Keep the change. The artist playing has a variety of hype songs and sad love songs. Love it. We love range. Upon arriving at the concert, my group, me, my boyfriend, and 3 friends, found a spot at the front standing area to watch the concert opener. While walking there, my boyfriend says to me, "Don't be mad." It's always the "don't be mad." Why would I be mad? Do I have a reason to be mad? Survey says yes. Let's see. Don't be mad, but Emily, 19-year-old female, 19, is here. Emily is a friend from school in the same program that often studies with him and sometimes hangs out. So why would she need to be mad about that? I'm not the type to say that my boyfriend can't have friends that are girls. However, historically, he has shown that he has a hard time setting boundaries with them. So I am more cautious in that sense. He has a hard time setting boundaries, or does he not want to set boundaries at all? Also, how much is he initiating? Is he flirting and then pretending like, no, I have a girlfriend? These are questions. That being said, I'm not really sure why he had to preface the "don't be mad" part. You know why he had to. Unless he was going to give me a reason to be upset. At the pause between the opener and main artist, my boyfriend asked if Emily could come say hi. Emily attended the concert with her friends who preferred to sit in the back, so quite a distance from us. I've never met this girl in person or interacted with her, but I said sure, or suggested that we could meet after the concert since she was sitting somewhere else. Which I think is also it'd be good to just size the hoe up. I shouldn't call her a hoe. Yet to be seen, okay? But like, sometimes you can meet someone, you're like, okay, cool. I'm getting the energy. This is feeling different. And sometimes you'll be able to, clocked it. So I encourage meeting if you have the opportunity. But I said sure. Okay. She walked to us instantly, and she was really nice as we exchanged greetings and introductions. That's good. But she never went back to her other friends. Is she the problem in the group? Throughout the concert, she planted herself right next to my boyfriend and was chatting and laughing with him. To be fair, she would do that if she went over there because he's the only person she knows. However, the fact that she continued to stay there says a lot. And to do it in front of you, hoe behavior. I'm gonna say it. Hoe behavior. I was getting a bit annoyed and texted my boyfriend about how I thought she came with other friends, and his response was that she wanted to see the concert up close. In a silo that would be okay, but we're not in a silo. This is not a simulation. I didn't want to cause a scene, so I just stood in front of them and tried to enjoy the concert, stupidly hoping that at some point he would reach for me or move to stand next to me. Girl, you set yourself up for failure because he didn't. That didn't happen. Okay? I'll be knowing. Also, this hat was so low. I'm like Sia. Chandelier. Instead, I hear them giggling when one of the love songs comes on. I mean, what you giggling about? I don't know why I'm in cursing mood today. I would turn around and be like, what's so funny? I want to laugh. Anywho, now I'm just in limbo. I've expressed to him about my discomfort in the situation, and initially he annoyingly brushed it off. How they're just friends and I'm overreacting. A mutual friend reached out to me and said that this situation is reminiscent of something that happened 6 months ago with another girl. Pattern. Stating that his lack of boundaries is extremely concerning. He just doesn't care. It's not like he even tries. It's like, oh, we've been friends for so long and I just want to make sure things are okay. There's sometimes, small tangent, you'll see on Reddit sometimes it's like, my boyfriend of 5 years is having a hard time setting boundaries with his best friend from childhood where they've been friends for 20 years, right? And it's like, yes, she's the problem, but the boyfriend feels weird of like, well, this is one of my closest friends. I've known them for like almost 2 decades. And it's like, you still need to stand up. There's the issue of boundaries. I'm not saying, it's at least more understandable about like why they're struggling with this. This girl, you study with the Yale. Okay. What? You can find another study partner. Also, you shouldn't, it's surprising that you're like this close to her. It's giving very weird. And then 19, what class are you taking? Is she a freshman and you're a senior? It's giving in like college. It's murky waters, to say the least. It's a little murky. And so it's like, it's harder to understand or empathize in the situation of like, well, you don't really need to be this close to her. So why are you letting this happen? It's because he wants the attention. He doesn't care about you. If he cared about your feelings, and he wouldn't be doing this. He did end up apologizing, but it still bothers me a lot. And it's always so hard to move forward from these things. I'm open to any general advice or comment. You need to leave him. Let's look at, great. First comment. And I always say this too. Look at his actions, not his words. Again, people be like, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you, but you did hurt me. Are you going to do anything to change your behavior so it doesn't happen again? All right. Apologies mean nothing if he keeps disrespecting you, and he was majorly disrespecting you. He needs to show more respect moving forward, or you just dump him. Someone else commented, this is totally fine to have friends of the opposite sex. I completely agree. As long as you have boundaries to protect your primary relationship. He crossed the lines and ignored you in favor of Emily. The fact that it is nasty work to bring someone over that you spend a lot of time with. And first of all, if I was him and I'm like, this is a good friend, a study partner, before this concert, I would have found a way for them to meet and just be like, here's this person, like, you don't need to be worried about it. I would have also, well, first of all, I would have like set boundaries, that kind of stuff. And I also like would have navigated the conversation of like, do you want to stop by and say hi? Sure, we're a little far up front. If it was like, oh no, that'll change the dynamics, or we can meet afterwards. There was a way in which she could have tried to handle the situation that would have preserved it. And if she decided to stay, you standing there and giggling with her would not have been the right thing to do. I would have went with my partner, who I was supposed to be there with, and say like, all right, sorry, I need to spend some time with her. Let's catch up afterwards. And she's like, no, stay here with me. And I would have been like, no. And I'd be like, oh, you sneaky link. And I would have left her ass. In no way does he care about this relationship. He's not trying to protect it. He doesn't care about you. And it's like, he want to be with her so much, let him be with her. What's that to you? But you need to end it on your terms. Because the last thing you need is for him to say, I'm leaving you for her. And then you get embarrassed because you should have done it 3 months ago. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Story number 2. All right, next one up, we have my girlfriend, 27-year-old female, called me, a 28-year-old male, controlling when I set a boundary, we're back to boundaries, around her not going drinking with her ex. All right, I have been with my girlfriend for just over 3 years. She has had 2 previous relationships that both ended when they cheated on her. So she want to meet up with him? You already know what that means. Her first boyfriend she hasn't spoken to in 6 years, and the other one she hasn't spoken to in 4 years. Her first boyfriend recently messaged asking how she has been and just wanting to catch up. This is one from 6 years ago. What happened? And all of a sudden, in 6 years, you need to reach out? She told me about it and told me she was planning on replying and asked what I thought about her replying. At least she asked you. We had a story like 2 or 3 weeks ago where the person did not ask. They were like, I'm doing it. I said, that's not correct. I told her I didn't see why she'd want to bother talking to him when he's not in her life anymore, but just said I can't stop her talking to him. Yeah, fair enough. She told me a couple more times when he messaged, but I believe they have been messaging more than that. She mentioned today that he suggests them going for a drink with a few other friends and catching up, allegedly. I told her I wasn't comfortable with her going, and she asked why. Girl, what the hell you mean why? Stop acting stupid. I I just told her I think it's disrespectful to be out drinking with your ex. Absolutely, especially when there's no reason for them to be in contact with you. Absolutely. It's like, at least for the other story that was a few weeks ago, it was like the girlfriend he was randomly broken up with, and then the ex reached out and was like, hey, there's something I want you to know to give you more context about the breakup. Now, this was years ago. She should have moved on. And I said, there's a world in which you're like, hey, it's the tea. Come on. And the thing about me is, if I did go into it, secretly recording. Say what you want. I'm sharing with my partner. Actually, I wouldn't even meet with them in person. I'd take a phone call and I put it on speaker. My partner's right there in the room. There will be no secrets between me and my partner. I am not messing up this relationship. I am, however, very interested to see what you have to say. Sometimes it could be revealing, and sometimes it could not be. I mean, if you really feel like you need the closure, I mean, sure, but this is a very different situation. And was this a pitch to see the other video that I have linked here? Maybe. But back into the story. I said if she chooses to go, then that will be it with us, since I'm not just going to sit back while she ignores my boundary, period, and goes out drinking with her ex-boyfriend. She said I was being controlling. Sure. People like to throw around buzzwords when they don't know what it means. But I just pointed out I was only telling her what I am comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with, and that I'm not stopping her going. The other thing too is, like, the thing about boundaries is, you're saying, for me, this is going to make being in a relationship with you very uncomfortable, like, because there is no reason for you to do this. You don't have to do this, but you want to do this, even though anyone in their right mind would be like, no, that's weird and uncomfortable. But instead of respecting that, you're saying, oh, it's you controlling. He said you could do it, but here are the consequences of your actions. If you go and see your ex, I will not be your partner anymore. And if that's controlling, then do you want to be with a controlling man? Leave. Or is it not that he's controlling, it's that you just want to do what you want? You believe a relationship is what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. It's giving the latter. She said I shouldn't be telling her not to go. The girl, then why the fuck you ask? It should be fine with her going. How would you handle this? Bye-bye. That's not the lyrics. The JoJo song, for you to be gone, get out. Get out right now. Not me saying bye-bye. Woo! Goofy, but not as goofy as this hoe. I need to stop calling people hoes. Or maybe I don't. I don't know. The important thing is, this ain't it. You need to leave her. This is ridiculous. You can't control me. I'm not. I'm saying you will have to suffer the consequences of your actions, babes. But people don't like to hear that. First, let me read this, see if I agree. Yes, first comment I agree with. Boundaries are useless unless you don't back them up with actions and consequences. If you make a boundary and whomever crosses it and you do nothing but shrug your shoulders, that person will lose most of their respect for you. I always say this to a lot of my friends too. Don't make ultimatums in relationships unless you're willing to keep it. So if you're like, if you do this again, we're done, and they do it again, you have to be done. Because if you take them back, they just know that they're going to be able to do anything they want. Especially when it's a multiple offense thing. Maybe not the first time of something. I don't know. That's teach their own. But when you make ultimatums in relationships, don't do it unless you mean it. All right, and that's just advice. Yep, by definition. All right, last story number 3. Here we go. All right, this is a nice little short and sweet. Found my 25-year-old female boyfriend, 26-year-old male on Hinge, Cheating? Question mark. Well, he's not being faithful, girl. My cousin found his profile and sent me the pictures. At first, I thought it was an old profile of him, but photos seemed kind of new. I confronted him straight. He said he opened the profile while we were dating and were exclusive. Okay. For context, we have been dating for 2 years, and I would say we have pretty serious relationships. We have pretty serious. Oh, we have a pretty. It wasn't me. Sometimes I'll be reading. I'm like, is this me? And I would say we have a pretty serious relationship with ups and downs. He said, did he ever confirm you were his girlfriend? Because people be out here working on semantics. He said it's not cheating. He just opened it to meet new people and make friends. Hinge is not a hookup app. Okay. I am not using any dating apps and I am not sure how they work, but I am not buying his story either. What do you think? Is this cheating? He talked to no one but didn't get matches either. How embarrassing. I let me stop. I don't know how to proceed. It's been like 5 days and he asked for forgiveness. Well, here's the thing. Hinge is not known as like the hookup app. It is known as a serious dating app. It is the one out of like a lot of the apps, whether on even for like gay guys, it's just like you're on Hinge. It's a little more serious. It doesn't have to be. Some people are like, I'm just trying to find friends. There are other apps for that. You can join clubs for that. In your city, there is some club or group of some interest that you have that you could be doing. You could be actually probably reaching out to the circle that you have. Like, for example, I do a lot of comedy and improv. And there's people I'm casual friends with. If I wanted to really grow my circle, I could invest more time in those relationships. People that I like, I just don't spend as much time with. There are a lot of different options in which you can have friends. Going on the dating app that is known to be the serious app, the one that's labeled as the app that's designed to be deleted, the app where most of my friends that got married from internet dates have met, I don't think is reassuring at all. I would prefer if it was a hookup app. Then I could be like, at least he's a sex addict. I was like, no, it looks like you're trying to find a person. It looks like you're trying to find a wife. It's giving, I'm looking for a wife. Crazy. Your first comment says, he was on there to cheat. Hinge isn't meant to find friends. He was looking for other people to hook up. It's cheating in my book and not sure if I could trust him after that. That's wild. I want to find friends. Go to church. Find Jesus, you cheating, lying men. Am I right? Woo! All right. What a journey. I feel like the important thing, a lot of common themes that happened in this episode was, can I call them episodes? Whatever. Is that like you're allowed to have your own boundaries. People are going to, and you can define what kind of relationship you want. And you're usually making that in agreement with someone. If they don't agree and it's not the kind of relationship you want, then bon voyage, and you go and look for and find someone else. But don't ever let people continuously disrespect you in a relationship and expect if you forgive them that they will change their ways. I think all three of these stories are speaking to the same thing as like, just because you care about someone and you're willing to change doesn't mean that they feel the same way or they will do the same thing. So just keep that in mind as you're out here dodging these red flag bullets. I know I am. Boo-boo! And I'll catch y'all next time. Bye!